Have you ever looked at an official document and wondered why it has a raised stamp or an ink seal instead of just a printed logo? In an age where printers can produce almost anything with incredible detail, why do governments, courts, universities, and notaries still rely on seals that are physically pressed or stamped onto paper? Is it simply tradition, or does that little mark serve a much bigger purpose than most of us realize? Today, we will uncover why official seals are stamped instead of printed, and why that centuries-old practice still matters today, right here on History of Simple Things. The story of official seals began long before paper became common. Thousands of years ago, in ancient civilizations like Mesopotamia and Egypt, rulers and merchants needed a reliable way to prove that a document, package, or container was genuine. Since many people could not read or write, a unique symbol carried far more authority than a written signature. Instead of signing their names, officials pressed carved stone cylinders or engraved signet rings into soft clay or wax. The impression left behind was difficult to imitate and clearly showed who had approved the document. That simple idea became one of history's earliest forms of authentication. As civilizations grew, so did the importance of seals. Kings, emperors, religious leaders, and government officials each had their own official seal. In medieval Europe, royal decrees were often accompanied by large wax seals attached with ribbons or cords. Breaking the seal showed that the document had been opened or tampered with. If the seal remained intact, recipients could trust that the contents had not been altered since leaving the sender. The seal wasn't decoration, it was security. Eventually, paper replaced parchment for many official documents, and governments looked for faster ways to authenticate paperwork without attaching heavy wax seals to everything. Metal embossing tools became popular because they could press a raised design directly into the paper. Instead of adding something onto the document, embossing permanently changed the paper itself. The raised pattern couldn't simply be erased or peeled away. Even today, if you've ever received a university diploma, a birth certificate, or a notarized document, you've probably noticed that distinctive raised emblem. Ink stamps also became common because they balanced security with practicality. An engraved rubber or metal stamp could quickly leave an official mark that matched a registered design. Unlike an image printed as part of the document, the stamp was applied separately after the paperwork had been reviewed and approved. That timing was important. A document might be printed in large batches, but it wasn't considered officially authorized until someone with the proper authority stamped it. That difference is one of the biggest reasons official seals are stamped instead of simply printed. A printed logo can be copied every time the document is reproduced. Anyone with the original design file could include it on countless fake documents. But a physical stamp or embosser requires possession of a specific tool that's controlled by an authorized office or official. In other words, it's not just about what the seal looks like, it's about who had the authority to apply it. There's also something surprisingly difficult about reproducing an embossed seal. The raised and recessed details change how light reflects off the paper. Tiny imperfections created by the pressure of the embosser make every impression slightly unique. Modern scanners and photocopiers can reproduce colors remarkably well, but they usually struggle to capture the three-dimensional texture of an embossed seal. That's why many official documents ask you to look for a raised seal when verifying authenticity. Even ink stamps offer security advantages. The pressure of the stamp, the exact shade of ink, the placement, and even slight wear on the stamp itself can help experts distinguish genuine documents from forged ones. Some offices now use specially formulated inks that fluoresce under ultraviolet light or contain pigments designed to resist alteration. These features work alongside other security measures such as watermarks, security paper, microprinting, and serial numbers. Of course, the digital age has changed how many documents are handled. Today, electronic signatures and digital certificates can verify authenticity without any physical paper at all. Instead of pressing metal into paper, computers use cryptography to prove that a document hasn't been changed after it was signed. In many ways, digital certificates perform the same role that wax seals did centuries ago. Both are designed to answer the same question: can you trust this document? Yet, physical seals haven't disappeared. Many countries still require embossed or stamped documents for passports, court records, property transactions, marriage certificates, and other important paperwork. That's partly because they're familiar and easy to recognize, but it's also because they remain effective. A raised seal is immediately visible without special equipment, and people instinctively associate it with authority and authenticity. So, the next time you notice a raised seal on a diploma, an ink stamp on a legal document, or an embossed emblem on an official certificate, you'll know you're looking at something far older than the paper itself. It's the modern descendant of a system created thousands of years ago to build trust between people. In a world where copying information has never been easier, that simple stamped mark still reminds us that authenticity isn't just about what you see. It's about knowing where it came from. And that's the hidden history behind one of the simplest details we often overlook. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.